everyone, and welcome to Jack and Cat Adventures. Today we're going to be making chocolate chip squares. These are great for like parties that are coming up through the summer because you can make a lot of it, okay? So I am giving you measurements for a single recipe. You will see I'm actually doing a double recipe, so just go by what I say, not by what I do at this time. So in a mixing bowl, you're going to need a half a cup of softened butter. You need 6 tablespoons of sugar and 6 tablespoons of brown sugar. We're going to mix it till it's light and fluffy. Alright, now that my mixture is nice and creamy, I'm going to add 1 egg, half a teaspoon of vanilla, and 1/4 teaspoon of water. And we're going to mix that in. Alright, while you're mixing the egg and the liquids in, get a bowl and put 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of flour, a half a teaspoon of baking soda, and a half a teaspoon of salt, and sift it together. If you don't have to sift if you have a whisk. Just whisk it together. All you want to make sure is that the salt isn't like in one pocket of the mixture. And what we're going to do is we're going to add this to our bowl, just a little at a time to make sure it mixes in pretty good. Make sure you kind of start out slow so your flour don't go all over. There we go. And throughout this whole process, make sure from start to finish you are scraping your bowl on the sides and the bottom. That's very important when you make any kind of batters. You have to scrape the bowl. And I just take mine off and do it. It just makes it easier for me. Because you'll see you'll have flour up at the top, and you'll see down at the bottom where the beater doesn't really hit, it's very wet. So you want to keep mixing that in, okay? Okay, I'm going to continue to mix that just for a second. Now I'm going to add some more of my flour. Okay. Again, start out slow. Mix that really well. You're going to need your oven preheated to 375 degrees, and you're going to need an 8 by 10 greased pan. Make sure you can use a pan spray. You'll see I have a larger pan. Like I said, I'm doubling mine. I'll give it one more good scrape down in one mix, and then we'll move on to the next step. It's still a little wet on the sides, that's why you need to really mix this in. Okay. Now you're going to need 1 small bag of chocolate chips of your choice. I'm using milk chocolate, that's what everybody likes here. And you'll see I have a big bag because I'm doubling mine. And I think this is a really old recipe of my mom's, and I think back in the day, a small bag might have been like 6 ounces or 8 ounces. I'm really not sure. I don't think it was like a 12-ounce bag. They were pretty tiny. But, you know, you can put as much or as little as you want on it anyways. It's all up to you. and I'll just explain what's going to happen. So you're going to take this mixture, let me just wash my hands real quick, and we're going to pat it into our pan. Just clean this up a little bit. So
do you do that before or after you do the chips?
Before. You're going to put the chocolate chips, you're going to sprinkle them on top.
And mush them in?
You're going to put them in the oven and let them bake for like 2 to 3 minutes or until they start to melt. And then you take the tip of a knife and we're going to swirl it through.
Oh, okay. Here I thought it was like a great big giant chocolate chip cookie. But it's fancy.
And just put it around. The dough's really easy to work with, so don't worry. And then you're going to just start spreading from the top and work down into these blobs just to make it all even. Leave a little bit into your pan or bowl in case you need to add a little bit more to like a smaller space that didn't get enough on it. I'm going to take my offset spatula.
I thought you meant leave some in the bowl for me to eat.
No. Okay. So I'm just going to start and I'm just going to gently just push it out. Okay. And just take your time with it, guys. Alright, so what I did was I lightly, and I mean lightly, floured my hands and pushed it out. And once it started sticking to your hand again, flour it again and just push it out. Works great. So now I'm just going to fill in where my thing seems a little bit low. You just want to make sure you get all those cracks filled in. Oh. Alright, now that mine's all in my pan, I'm just going to sprinkle it with the chocolate chips. Okay. Just spread them around evenly. Okay, that looks pretty good. And now we're going to stick it into our oven for 2 to 3 minutes or until it's melted enough to swirl it through. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take a tip of a knife, it could be a butter knife, whatever, and just lightly on the top go through the chocolate chips, and you're just going to swirl them through. This makes it look really pretty inside and gets the chocolate all the way through. Alright, once we're done with this, it goes back into the oven for 12 to 15 minutes or until it's nice and lightly golden brown. Alright, so here's our finished chocolate chip squares. I'm just going to cut them into little squares. I'm going to place them in this pan, and in between each layer I'm just going to put wax paper and cover them real tight with foil, and they'll be fine for traveling, okay? So please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And remember, you do you.